Hallo und zurück zu The Zodiac Trial. Letztes Mal haben wir herausgefunden, dass es einen Traitor oder sogar zwei in unserer Gruppe gibt. Wir wissen nicht, wer es ist, logischerweise, aber sie haben die Victorious und Defeated Personality. Das heißt, das ist ein kleiner Hinweis. Und wir haben unsere Gruppe aufgeteilt, weil man sich gegenseitig nicht mehr traut. Wir sind in der Gruppe von Dog und Bunny und haben eine Statue gefunden, mit der man eine neue Option öffnen kann, und zwar die Prey Option. Dadurch kann man voten wie in Your Turn to Die. Wow. Und wer die meisten Votes kriegt, wird exekutiert. Diese Statue wird aber erstmal weggesperrt, das heißt, die ist erstmal nicht aktiv. Und die Gruppe von Snake, die bestand aus Snake, Tiger und Rooster, soweit ich weiß, hat noch einen Minor Trinket gefunden. Das heißt, wir sind bei 6. Das sind die Hälfte schon mal. Und jetzt geht's weiter.
But eventually time ran low, so we had to go into individual rooms and input our actions. I chose to run, obviously. When it was done, we decided to start looking around the left side of the first floor. However, when the fourth one switched over, a voice started to play on our tablets.
Attention, animals. A major trinket has been used, and there's now a new option available.
What?
Praying. Oh, Pray wie ein Beten, nicht Pray wie ein Jagen oder Beute. Das wird mit E geschrieben. Our faces twist to horror as we realized that those horrible rules we had heard about had indeed been put in play. I already could tell that this meant nothing good. Someone used the major trinket. An immediate emergency meeting was called.
What the hell was that? I thought we agreed to throw that horrible mechanic away.
Okay, first up, who did it? Don't worry, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
You really think that's going to get them to confess?
It's what my dad said when I messed up. Das ist klar, das klingt genau nach Vätern. All of you, shut up. Ox snapped. Oh, es war nicht snappen. His face was flushed with frustration.
An understandable reaction to the horrible situation we had been thrust into.
It's obvious that whoever activated this trinket had ill intent. We should assume that it was either the victorious personality or the defeated personality. In either case, the more people dead, the easier it will be for them to fulfill their objective.
But how are they able to use the trinket? It should have been locked away.
None of them matters, then that anybody blurted off the first 3 numbers without thinking. At that point, they could have guessed and checked for the last one.
Hey, is it suspicious that he gave the code away like that? Maybe he did it on purpose to try and make it seem like anyone could have used the item. That way we would be able to pin the activation on him.
Hold on a minute, Pig.
I know that you have a right to be angry, but you're putting out some really hurtful accusations right now. Take a moment to reconsider, would you? Not to impose, but is Pig's theory really possible? Bunny had yet to read the rule explanation, and thus had no idea what announcing those numbers would accomplish. This doesn't necessarily clear him of suspicion, but I believe it's a stretch to claim malintent for an oversight. Thank you, Monkey. No gratitude is necessary. I'm just hoping to keep the conversation measured.
Whatever. It's still his dumbest fault for running his mouth like that. Quit it with the pointless squabbling. We have a much larger concern to deal with. What are we supposed to do now that the stupid system is in play?
We can't descend into paranoia just because of this threat. We need to all promise to choose no one when we vote. You seriously think people are going to do that? If everyone does that, one rogue will kill you. I believe Pig has brought up the real reason why it will never work. Even if we assume that whoever activates the major trinket will refrain from voting, a questionable assumption, there is a real risk that non-traitors will vote others in fear of being voted for themselves. It's a true dilemma.
It's clear that simply promising not to vote isn't going to cut it. Therefore, we are forced to turn to the other way. Nobody dies. The case of a tie. If we focus all our votes in equal proportion on 2 people, then the votes will tie, and we can all stay alive.
Wait, Ox, you're saying that you want us to vote for each other?
Yes, I believe that is the only way.
I think it's a wise idea in theory. But Ox, I fear that few will want to volunteer for the position of voted. It's an undesirable position no matter how you view it.
Fine. Then I'll step up to the plate.
Ox?
Mouse, bunny, dragon, sheep, monkey, pig. I want you all to vote for me.
Are you serious?
So this is what conviction looks like, eh?
What, you think Ox being brave or something? That's nothing. Ox, tiger, snake, horse, rooster, dog, you all can vote for me. Seriously? The votes will be split 6-6, right? Neither of us will die.
Hopefully.
Definitely. I know myself, and I know that I'm not the type to die in a shithole like this. I don't like this plan. But if everyone agrees with it, I'll go along with it.
No objection here.
No, here. I admire your bravery, Ox, Dragon. I'll volunteer to be the one voted next round.
No. It'll take too long to discuss this every single time. We need to resume our trinket search, so if we can come up with a system, we should stick to it.
If we decide, shall we go and enter our votes now? These 50-minute cycles are going to be a lot faster than full round cycles.
Yes, I think that would be for the best.
Oh, die beiden sind so mutig.
Come, everybody. Find a room and input your votes.
I will remember who to vote for, right? I swear to God, if one of you fuckers forgets who you're on and screw this up, you're dead made.
We split up and entered individual rooms.
I voted for Ox. I didn't have a choice. If I didn't, Dragon might die. But I had a bad feeling about this. I really didn't like voting for Ox like that. Whatever, I couldn't linger on bad feelings. I had to keep up forward momentum. I returned to the cafeteria. By the time everyone returned, the 15-minute cycle was almost up.
Oh nein, es wird nervös.
We ignored that and talked about searching strategy.
After we confirmed that everything worked out fine, we gathered back up in the groups we were in and resume our search. The important thing is to stay focused. If we rush and miss a trinket, then mark a room and searched, we can be really screwing ourselves in the long run. We need 10 minor trinkets no matter what. 12, of course, would be ideal, but...
Ox was interrupted by an announcement that played on our tablets.
With a total of 6 prayers, the great draconic gods have heeded the group's wish and strike down Ox. Damn.
What? Warte, was? Ox couldn't even get out a curse before starting to choke. Ox! What's wrong with him? The execution process, it's begun. No! But Snake was right. Ox's face had begun to turn a strange color, and he clawed to his own throat. Drips of blood started to come down from under the collar. The knife must have already been in his throat. He thrashed and swayed in the lure's horrifying dance. Eventually, it was too much for him. His knees buckled to the floor. His body followed short after. And the corpse now laying in the cafeteria. Ah! Ox, no. Damn it, damn it, damn it! What the hell? Brian, you bastard! Fuck, oh, beep you! Beep you and all that you stand for, you beepy murderer, piece of beep! Mouse, calm down. Excuse me? I know you have the right to be angry, but we need to think about what it means rationally if we don't want more to follow him. I hated it, but Bunny was right. My rage was just supplanting my sorrow. I didn't know Ox for long, but he seemed really nice. We woke up in the same room, so I felt like I knew him the best. He was the leader of the group. And to end up like this? No. Both anger and sadness were out of place. I needed to once again bottle up my emotions. Because though I screamed at him, Brian wasn't the one who caused Ox to die. It was someone in this room. What on earth was that about? I thought Dragon was supposed to get 6 votes too. Dragon, the hell is this about? Why are you looking at me? I did what I had supposed to do. I was one of Ox's 6 votes.
If you're looking to blame anyone, look at the people who were supposed to vote for May, because one of them didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Oh ja, stimmt. Wir hatten Dragon, Pig, Bunny, Maus, Sheep und Monkey. Und die hatten... Nee, warte, wir haben Monkey. Nee, da. Tiger, Rooster, Snake, Dog und Horse, glaube ich. Ja, und halt Ox.
Excluding Ox, that's 5. Excluding Ox, that's 5 people. Tiger, Snake, Rooster, Horse, and Dog. So does it mean the person who's the major trinket is one of them?
Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Huh? God, this seems like a big pain, but it looks like I'm gonna have to really do some work today, huh? Okay. Let's assume that all non-traders were completely loyal and fearless and did what they were told to with no ulterior motives. Say we buy that. I do. We are still left with the problem that we're not dealing with only one trader. There's 2 people who didn't out their personalities.
Shit. You're right, Doc.
Even if one person started this prayer nonsense, now that it's active, there's 2 people who've benefited from people dying. That means that even though the 2 don't know who the other person is, those with abnormal personalities are basically partners who both benefit from using the system to kill others. We can guess that at least one of the traders are on that list, but it's going to be a big pain narrowing down from there. Even if we attempted this tying stick 5 or 6 more times, it'll still be a struggle to know for sure who's a traitor.
So what you're saying is that this tying plan won't work and that we're totally doomed?
I didn't say that. Just said what I said.
Still, the traders certainly got lucky. After all, if 2 were voting for different people and both decide to switch their vote, not only would there be a tie, but we know the people tried to betray the group. Snake, that's it.
Oh!
I know how we can beat the traders. Sorta. Actually, this might be a really dumb idea, so I shouldn't.
Just say it.
Okay, so the 2 traders don't know each other, right? So it would be difficult for them to plan. Right? I think instead of us making a big tie, we should make a little tie.
You mean like 1 vote each type of tie?
You mean
Like a 1 vote each type of tie? To be honest, I have totally 100% exactly been paying too much attention, so I might be off base in saying this, but wouldn't it make it easier for someone to get voted out, not harder?
If we knew how the tie would go, it would. But what if we made it so the traders didn't know who would be voted? 2 of us will be the designated voters, and the rest of us will choose to vote no one. The 2 voters will then each vote someone separately, but the rest of us won't know which 2 people they vote. That way, the traders won't know who's getting a vote, so they have to randomly guess who to choose. Even if both of them guess, it's usually end with 4 people getting 1 vote each. Not to be dismissive, but doesn't this plan have a fairly glaring flaw? If one of the traders votes the same person that one of our designated voters chooses, that person will die. That's why I said the system was flawed. It leaves things to chance, and it has the possibility of going wrong.
It still seems like a best bet. Not like I'm saying a better plan to go well.
We could also use this to help figure out who the traders are. If it says that we have a 4-way tie, we'll know that the 2 designated voters are both definitely innocent.
Are you sure about that? I don't think it's said that they announced who was voted in the case of die.
You're right, they didn't.
But they might do that. I don't know. I think it's unclear at the moment. I see a problem with this plan. Another one? If one of the designated voters is a traitor, they'll know who the partner is voting and can copy the vote. The odds that at least one of our designated voters is a traitor is 12 to 11, which isn't that low.
The 2 designated voters could just not tell each other who they plan to vote.
That's better. But then we're risking the designated voters choosing the same person.
I know. We can have a system where the voters will write all of our names on sheets of paper, then fold them up. Then they can each choose a different piece of paper, look at who they need to vote, then throw their sheets away. And afterwards, they also throw the rest of the papers away. That way, they're definitely voting for different people, but they don't know who the other person voting for. That sounds like a great compromise. If that all works for everyone, I suggest we get a move on. These 50-minute cycles are far less forgiving than the 45-minute rounds. In an effort to keep things moving, I'll volunteer to be one designated voter.
Then I'll be the other.
Great teamwork in choosing efficiently, guys.
Yeah, just split up and and also put on your move for round 5 or whatever. We don't know when we have another chance.
And break. Once again, we split into different rooms, this time with a better plan. However, there was a sense of deja vu. This was the same feeling I had when we split off last time. I was trying not to think about how that turned out. We had also spent 2/3 of this round simply dealing with this prayer business, instead of finding minor trinkets. It wasn't exactly a hopeful situation. Still, there wasn't much to do. I chose to run for round 5, and I chose to pray against no one. Then we met up in the cafeteria. This time, however, the group was silent. There were only seconds until the end of the prayer circle. The success or failure of our plan would be determined.
Ich bin nervös!
We all had our breath, waiting to hear the outcome. Then we heard it.
With a total of 2 prayers, the great draconic gods have heeded the group's wishes and strike down Tiger.
No! This can't be... Similar to Ox, Tiger's last words were cut off. I couldn't watch again. I had to turn away. I wasn't the only one. In Tiger's final thrashing painful moments, all but three had their backs to her. Was this disrespectful? I didn't care.
Ich denke mal, es sind Dog, die gucken, Snake und vielleicht
Dragon?
Oder Horse. Horse kann auch sein.
Watching someone as positive as Tiger die painfully like that would break my psyche. I just couldn't handle it. I heard Pig nervously pacing in circles. Pig, are you alright? Oh, me? Just fine. Super fine. Only having a mental breakdown. Over here, nothing to worry about. Susie, what the hell was that about? For the record, Tiger wasn't my designated vote. Dog?
Wasn't mine.
Are you saying that both traitors voted her independently? How likely is that? Very much not so. In all likelihood, this means that two have somehow managed to contact each other. If they can vote together, this plan is essentially dead in the water. No, this is all my fault. That's not true.
It was a good plan. Just not good enough. So, what do we do now? We spent all this time talking about what we must do, but on both occasions we've utterly failed to counter the traitors. Gotta say, guy, this is a real D+ effort right now. Shut the hell up. God, you're so annoying. Things are always better when you're silent. Rooster, you've contributed the least here, so you've little ground to stand on. Ey, er hat geholfen mit der Statue. Ah, wohl. Fair. My lack of speech is a contribution? Dragon herself just said that things are better when I'm silent. So, you're welcome.
Rooster's right. We need a new plan. So, the new plan is, right, no plan. Huh? Plan sucks. Plans aren't useful at all. Plans are what killed Tiger and Ox. If we just sit around and say exactly what we're going to do, the traitors will be able to completely read our moves. And all this time we haven't found any trinkets whatsoever. So now our plan is to not have a plan. Okay, but what does that mean? I don't know. Vote no one. Vote for some random. Find a partner and both of you vote the same person. Be completely random, untrackable. Then maybe we'll stumble into the tie vote. This sounds like a horrible idea. Nah, let's do this. Pic's right. This obsession with plans have completely killed our searchers, and they've been seen through twice. Everyone, split up and don't be predictable. Dragon shouted this and immediately stormed off in a random direction. Pig followed suit, and before I knew it, the group was mostly split up. I was sort of with Snake. I just completely abandoning logic and leaving things to chance seemed like a really bad idea.
Das sieht nicht gut aus.
But the die was already cast, as it were. It was best to accept things and look for trinkets. I went into the nearby classroom and did the typical search. At this point, I was starting to feel like a professional school inspector. A school inspector who didn't end up with a lot of results. Even though I was able to search through them relatively quickly, no trinkets were found in the room I looked in. I started to look for another room, but as I went down the hallway, I saw something suspicious.
Oh, was sehen wir denn wohl? Das sehen wir im nächsten Part, denn ich muss sagen, der Part war schon genug mit Action. Oh nein, schon 2 Leute sind weg. Schon 2 Leute. Ox, die ich echt gern mochte, und Tiger, die okay war oder so. Ja, sie war okay. Ich mochte sie nicht gern, aber sie war cool. Das einzige Gute ist, ich konnte ihre Stimme nicht machen, deswegen ist es gut, dass die Stimme weg ist. Aber, wow. Aber ich frage mich, wie haben die Traitors geschafft, zu wissen, wer sie sind? Das weiß ich einfach nicht. Ich meine, die müssen ja entweder gewusst haben, wer der andere ist, oder einfach Glück gehabt haben, aber das ist auch seltsam. Das ist schon sehr verwirrend, aber es gibt bestimmt eine Lösung dazu, ich weiß nicht welche. Aber das finden wir noch raus vielleicht im nächsten Part oder auch später erst. Naja, wir werden sehen. Ich sage auch schon mal Dankeschön fürs Zugucken und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Tschüss!